Did y'all enjoy the snow?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, it's pretty, isn't it? It's pretty. One of the things I've noticed about the snow is that this is the conversation you hear when you start talking to people about driving in the snow. They say, you know, I can drive pretty well in the snow because I'm from, what, the north. But it's not me I'm worried about, it's those other people, right? How many of you heard that? Have you heard that this week? Have you said that this week? Some of you from the north, so I know you've said it. It's those southerners we got to worry about. So, people up north, we know how to drive. It's the southerners that we got to worry about, right? Yeah. But, you know, the funny thing is I spent some time living in the Midwest or the northern, Indiana, and that's north. And they get a lot of snow there, and they still have wrecks there too. So there's something flawed with that thinking, I'm just saying. Unless I guess that could be the southerners who've moved north, but I don't know any southerners who actually moved north. I think they kind of like it in the south. But there is some truth in that. There is some truth in and what you've been trained, you know, you're better at, right? You know, people who are used to driving in the snow probably do a better job, although snow is kind of unpredictable. And when you hit ice, I don't care where you're from. You're in for a ride, right? But there is some truth to that. And it's, you know, there's a certain set of skills that you get in being trained in how to drive in the snow, getting used to it. We don't get a lot of snow, especially in North Carolina where I was from. We very rarely got snow down there. So all my training came when I was living in Indiana. But what about other driving skills? How many of you were raised to drive a clutch? It's not everybody. Not everybody. Most of y'all know that experience of driving a clutch, and that's a skill set, isn't it? It is. And you know what? If you don't practice that skill set, it's not like riding a bike. It doesn't just come back to you. It takes a little practice. And when I've done this, been without driving a clutch for years. I mean, I used to have a sports car, you know, I was all over the place when I was young. And my knees worked really well and stuff. But as I got older and I hadn't driven a clutch in a while and I was called to drive a clutch, I can tell you it doesn't just come back to me. There's a lot of grinding, you know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of that, trying to hold just that right balance, right? And there's a lot of laughter from the people in the car with you, you know, as you like mess up, as you pop the clutch, the car stops a few times, and there's that beads of sweat that form on your forehead as you try to hold it at a red light on a hill and not hit the car in front of you or hit the car behind you. You been there? Have you ever been there? Especially when you're learning how to drive a clutch. That's really it's a balance, right? It's that, I really want to go, but no. And it's a struggle, isn't it? It's a struggle to wait. It's a struggle to wait on a hill with a clutch. It's a struggle to wait, period, isn't it? How many of you like waiting? How many of you call the doctor's office and say, I know my appointment's at 1, but could I come at 12 and just sit? Because I know you're not going to see me till 2 anyway, but I just love a 2-hour wait. Anybody that? No, yeah. We're not built for waiting, are we? In today's society, it gets faster and faster, and everything's, I gotta have it what? Right now. Remember you used to have to wait for a letter to get there in 2 or 3 days. Now we shoot an email, right? And the young people don't even use emails, they use text, right? You can get some of y'all just like, I've never seen thumbs move so fast. Boy, you get some of these young, they can type out a whole like 4-page letter in like 30 seconds on a phone. But because they gotta have a what? Right now. And then they don't even use like whole words, they use like letters like K. K means okay, that's pretty easy. LOL, laughing out loud. SMH, what? Shaking my head. And because we don't even use the whole words because we're in such a what? Hurry. We're in a hurry. We're all in a hurry. We got to get there. We don't want to wait on anything. Waiting is so counterproductive, right? I hate waiting. You hate waiting? I hate waiting. is just not fun. That's not the way we're built these days. We want instant gratification. We want stuff right now, you know. But the reality of it is that that's not the way life works, is it? It doesn't work that way in the grocery lines. It doesn't work that way in the doctor's office. Doesn't work that way in getting building cabinets or getting cabinets. It doesn't work very well. It doesn't work in sermon prep. It doesn't work in anything. There's very little things in life that you don't have to wait for. Even fast food you have to wait for, right? It might be 30 seconds while they microwave it, but you gotta wait, you know? So we're constantly waiting, but we're constantly fighting the waiting. We don't like to wait. But waiting, it's important that we know this. Waiting's part of your story. Waiting is part of your journey. But I don't like it. Look, I can't help that. It's part of who you are. As a matter of fact, every person here at some point has had to wait for something. Right? So it's part of your story. And if you haven't had to wait, you will have to wait. Maybe you didn't even realize you were waiting, but you're waiting. Now we joke about waiting in lines and waiting, you know, in the doctor's office and stuff like that. But there's some people who are waiting for some very serious stuff, right? Sometimes we're waiting for phone calls from the doctor for test results. Or we're waiting to hear back from a job interview. We're waiting for a loved one to change their ways. Or waiting to come out of a dark place. So some waiting is not comical at all. It's very serious. But whether it's comical or serious, regardless, it's part of our story. It's part of who we are. And it's biblical. There's a whole lot of waiting in the Bible. Abraham waited, 24 years before he was told he was going to have a child and having a child. That's a long wait, isn't it? Joseph was in prison for 13 years before he got to the palace. Israelites wandered the desert for 40 years. That's a good portion of most of your lives, isn't it? David was anointed but didn't get the crown for 15 years. The Israelites waited for a Messiah for hundreds of years. Spent waiting. And God sent Jesus to save the world. And he waited 30 years to start his ministry. Which ended on a cross. And he waited 3 days to rise from the dead. Waiting is part of our story, isn't it? No one's free from it. It's the way time works. But what do you do with that waiting is the important thing. How do we approach that waiting? Is it a waste of time? How many of you think waiting is a waste of time? No. A lot of what waiting is working on you. How do you feel about that? You see, waiting is a part of our story, but it's important to know that it's not idle time. God's not wasting time for you. You say, I know, but I'm ready to get there. Me too. But maybe you're just not ready yet. Maybe you're just not ready for what God has in front of you yet. Maybe you still need some work done to you, right? God's working on something in your heart or in your head. Or maybe he's working on people around you. Moving to get everything in just the right spot for just the right time. In today's story, Jesus is about to leave the disciples. And he's giving them a pep talk, and he's telling them, you're going to be my messengers, you're going to go out, and you're going to change the world. And this is what I want you to do. I want you to go to Jerusalem, and I want you to wait. Well, that's not inspiring. I mean, could we go save some people, or give a good sermon, or... No, I want you to go, and I want you to wait. I want you to wait because you're not ready. You don't have everything you need. You're not complete. You need something added to the recipe. You're almost there, but you're not there. So I want you to hurry up and I want you to wait. Well, it's like that. That's very true. It is just like the military. But he calls on to wait. Very uninspiring. I don't know how inspired I'd be if he said just go wait. Some people say that's good. I'm good with waiting. I don't want to go preach anyway. But he tells them to go and wait. And then they start asking questions about, well, is this the time? Is this the time? Is this the time? Is this the time that we're going to do the whole kingdom of God thing? Is that coming to Israel? Is this the time? They're asking questions, right? They're asking questions about how long is it going to be, right? How long is it going to be? How long am I going to have to, what? Wait. How many of you would have asked that question? Yeah. I know I'm going to have to wait, but how long am I going to wait? Right? Is it more than 5 minutes? 10? Can we get a sign? You know, that's why I put those signs up at the amusement parks. 45 minutes from this spot. Right? So you'll feel better that you know you don't have 50 minutes to wait. You only have 45 minutes to wait. Right? But it makes you, somehow, knowing how much time it is, makes us feel better, right? Well, I know I got to wait, but it's only 45 minutes. Right? I don't know the psychology behind it. I'm still like, I don't want to wait 45 minutes. I mean, to get whipped around on a ride that's going to probably make me half paralyzed when I walk off of it. But knowing how long somehow seems to help. So like, preacher, if you could hold up a sign saying how far you are through your sermon, that would help us get through your sermon. If you could say only 10 minutes from this spot, that would help us. It would encourage us. It would give us hope that we're actually going to make the meal. Right? Somehow knowing, and that's what they're asking for. They say, how long? He says, you know what? It's none of your business. He said, that doesn't concern you. Yours isn't to know the time. You're not to know how long you're going to have to wait. I wonder why that is. I like to know. You like to know? I'd like to know. I can tell you why I think that is. Why I believe that we don't know. You see, because faith has this very important element in it. It's called trust. And if God doesn't tell you when it's going to be, then you're going to have to what? You're going to have to trust Him. That's right. You're going to have to put your trust in Him that He knows the time. He's the keeper of the watch. It's on His time anyway. It's not on my time. And we're going to have to develop that trust. That we're going to have to lean on Him, that we're going to have to stay close to Him so we know what? When we're supposed to move, and when we're supposed to do, and when we're supposed to speak. That we have to place our trust in Him. Because trust is a very, very important part of any relationship, isn't it? Whether it's your relationship with God, whether it's your relationship with your spouse, or with your children, or your friends, we all want to be able to trust Him, right? You take that trust out of any relationship that I just mentioned, and they don't work well. If your children don't trust that you have their best interest at heart, they will not follow you. My question to you is, do you trust that God has your best interest at heart? And if you trust Him, if you place your faith in Him, then it really doesn't matter how long it is. Whether it's a day or 2 days, or 6 weeks, or 6 years, 60 years, 600 years. I won't be here, but I'm out. You follow what I'm saying? Because it's that relationship that God wants to develop with you. That trust and relationship, that relationship that says, I'm going to depend on you for everything. That I know you're the keeper of the watch. I know that you're the keeper of time, that you have a plan. You have a plan for me, and I want to be a part of that plan, but I know I'm not ready. If you're telling me to wait, then I should wait, right? Even though we're on that hill, man, we want to go. We want to go. Please turn. Please turn green. I'm ready to go. I'm tired of holding this clutch. I'm tired of holding this clutch. I'm ready. God's saying, hold it. Hold it. Wait for it. Wait for it. It's coming. We get in a hurry, don't we? There was an author, John Orthward, who had a great quote, and I was going to read it to you because I'm not good at memorizing quotes, and I want to make sure I give him credit. It says, this is what he says. It says, what God does in us while we wait is as important as what we're waiting for. Let me read it again. What God does in us while we wait is as important as what we're waiting for. That's a pretty profound statement, isn't it? Or as the girls in the pageant world used to say, the jewel is in the journey, not the destination. In other words, if you're just waiting for the crown, you're missing a whole lot. Because there's a whole lot of diamonds out there. That while we're in the wait, we need to recognize that God is working on us, that He's changing us, that He's creating us a solid foundation for going forward. We need to be looking for what it is that we need to change and what it is that we need to do, or what it is God is doing around us or to us or in us to prepare us for the next step of the journey. Now, how do you do that? Good question. How do you do that? Well, let's see what they did. Let's see what the disciples did. If we go to Acts 1:14, it says, they all joined together constantly in prayer, along with the women and Mary, the mother of Jesus, and his brothers. And if we look at Luke 24:52 through 53, which is describing basically the same segment of time, it says, then they worshipped Him and returned to Jerusalem with a great joy and stayed continually at the temple praising God. So what are the two things that the disciples did in their time of waiting? Prayed, and what else? Prayed and worshiped. Worship and prayed. In other words, they spent their time worshiping and praying to God in the wait. Now, a lot of us are in waiting seasons right now. And some of us are going to go into waiting seasons because you're either coming into one or you're leaving one or you're in one. But if you're in a waiting season, what you should be doing is praying and worshiping God. You should be spending time every day praying. Now, I hope that you are already praying. But if you're not already praying, you need to carve out a section of your day. How many of you have prayed today? How many of you have been prayed for today? Every one of you needs to raise your hand because I've already prayed for every one of you on the way here, on the drive into church, by name. So you have all been prayed for. Prayer is important. Prayer is important. We need to be spending our days in prayer. Now, why is prayer so important? It's just a conversation with God, right? It's just me talking to the Creator of the universe. It's just me recognizing that God is God and I am not. That He is the Creator and I'm the creation. It's recognizing my place in the order of life. It's recognizing that I'm not God and I'm not in control, but I know that my God is in control and that I can go to Him and have conversation daily. But how many of us are using that? You see, when we go to God in prayer, it is a form of worship. And where do you meet God? Where do you feel God's presence? In worship. When you come to a house of worship, you should feel like you're in the presence of God. When you're in prayer, you should feel like you're in the presence of God, because you are. You should worship each and every day of your life. Worship is not meant to be just in this room for an hour or two on Sunday. When we leave here at 12:05 or 12:15 or 12:30, depending on how long my sermon is, or if we eat lunch here, and we lock those doors, we're not leaving God locked in this building until next Sunday. He is supposed to go with you, not stay here. And you're supposed to worship every single day. Now, you're thinking, preachers, that mean you're going to come give me one of these sermons every day and I'm going to have to feed you? And the answer is no and no. No and no. I'm not going to come preach to you and you're not going to have to feed me. But you can still worship, because you can worship without me. You don't need me to worship. It's about your relationship to God. God, worship is found in your prayer, in your Bible study every day, in your daily devotional. It's found in song. Now, I'm going to tell you what, I can't carry a tune in a bucket. I mean, not a huge pail. I can't, a whip. No, I can't sing. I know it. I know it. You probably know it, because you probably have heard me sing over the mic. I'm not Ronnie. It's not my gift. It's not what I do. I don't have a great voice for that. It's not. But I sing. I'm going to tell you, I sing. I've sang myself out of some blues and some anxieties and some downtime, because I have found that in singing a praise song or a song that I like, that it lifts me out of that place and into the presence of God, and it renews me. Now, my singing or my ability to sing isn't what's up for debate. What happens during that singing is that I get drawn closer to God. It is a form of worship. That I quit focusing on my bad day, or where I'm at in life, or my station in life, and I start focusing on God. And all of a sudden, things just seem a whole lot brighter. My load seems a whole lot lighter. I'm able to walk with a little more pep in my step. A little more glide in my stride. You know what I'm saying? And I would encourage you, if you don't have that song, you don't have to be a singer. I know some of you say, I can't sing. Good, I can't sing either. I don't care. You don't have to be a singer. But sing. Find that song that works for you. Whatever that song is that draws you close to God. If you don't learn any other words to any other song in the world, learn the words to that song. And when you're down or when you need time with God, just sit there and sing. And if people's ears are hurt and bleeding, that's their problem. But you sing. You sing God's praises. You get drawn into that relationship with God. You see, because there is something in the power of worship. And worship is what we're supposed to be doing while we what? While we wait. Because a lot of people see wait as a bad thing. Kevin Queen, another preacher, said something to the effect of, a lot of people see and I'm not quoting, but something about a lot of people see waiting as a setback. If I'm having to wait, I'm getting set back. He said, but in fact, it's a setup for what God's about to do in your life. He's preparing you for the next step. He's getting you ready for what's to come. He's preparing you, giving you the tools that you need, equipping the people around you, so when that next step comes, it'll be a successful one. So what's happening in the wait is indeed as important as what you're waiting for. You see, because when you're waiting for that test result from that doctor, I can almost guarantee you spend some time in prayer. It's almost a guarantee. And in that prayer, you're getting drawn to a closer relationship with God. And in that prayer, you're worshiping God. So your relationship is changing just there. Because you know you're placing your trust in God for whatever those results are, aren't you? Sometimes the wait is more powerful than what He has waiting for us. But we need to be looking for it. We need to be spending time in worship. We need to be spending time in prayer and in song and in word and in study. So when that day comes, when He tells you to step forward, you can step forward with confidence knowing that He has prepared you for anything that lies ahead of you. That there is nothing out there that He hasn't conquered, because my God has conquered the world. You know, I don't know what season you're in. Some of you are already in the waiting season. Waiting for different things. There's a lot of things to wait for. Some of you are just waiting for Christmas again. But wherever you are, know that God's working in your life. God doesn't take a day off. He works 365 days a year. He's working on His plan for you. And I encourage you to trust that He has a plan for you. And that you won't be anxious in your wait. That your time waiting won't be spent in anxiety or depression or wanting or disappointment, but in trusting in an awesome God who loves you very much and cares for each of you and knows each of you by name and wants the very best for you. So I know sometimes it's hard to hold that clutch. But do like I did when I'm holding a clutch on a hill. Pray. Pray for it. Pray for that green light to come. Pray for God to lead you where He wants you to be. Worship Him where you're at, regardless of where that's at. And be hopeful in the wait, knowing that what God is doing in you during that wait is more powerful than what lies ahead. And all God's people said, Amen.